Have you ever felt the world tilt on its axis? That sickening lurch you get on a failing roller coaster, but it happens in the quiet of your own driveway? That was me. I was sitting in my car, engine off, the takeout getting cold on the passenger seat, staring at a gleaming black BMW parked in my spot. It was a car I'd never seen before, but I knew exactly who it belonged to. I'd seen it in the background of one of Sarah's work night out photos on Instagram, parked outside some ridiculously expensive steakhouse. His name was Mark. And as I watched the upstairs bedroom light flicker off, I realized my life as I knew it was already over. I just hadn't been home to witness the demolition. If you enjoy our stories, please subscribe to the channel, tell us where you're from, and what time it is for you. It's always fascinating to know how far our stories travel. For 10 years, Sarah was my entire world. We built a life together in a quiet suburb of Chicago, a 2-story house with a backyard for a dog we were always planning to get. I thought we were happy. I was a fool. The humiliation started subtly. It was in the way she'd laugh at her phone, then quickly hide the screen when I walked into the room. It was the sudden need for privacy, the closed doors, the hushed phone calls she'd take on the patio, even in the biting Chicago wind. She started talking about Mark, a new partner at her law firm. "He's brilliant," she'd say. "A real shark. I remember meeting him once at a company dinner at a rooftop bar overlooking the river. He had that easy, smug confidence of a man who'd never been told no. He shook my hand, but looked right through me, his eyes already back on my wife. I felt like a ghost at my own table. The discovery wasn't a single explosion. It was a slow, agonizing leak. A credit card receipt for a hotel room at the Langham, which she claimed was a work conference. A text message that flashed on her phone screen while she was in the shower. "Last night was incredible. Can't stop thinking about you." The sender was just M. She became a stranger. The warmth in her eyes was replaced by a cold, dismissive glare. When I tried to talk, to bridge the growing chasm between us, she'd turn it on me. "Why are you so insecure?" she'd snap. "Do you not trust me? I'm building a career here, and all you can do is question me." She was a master manipulator, making me feel like the crazy one for noticing the ground crumbling beneath my feet. They grew bold, untouchable. They stopped trying to hide it. One evening I came home early to find them laughing together in our kitchen, a bottle of wine open on the counter. They weren't doing anything wrong, not technically. But the intimacy, the way he leaned against our counter like he owned it, the way she looked at him. It was a punch to the gut. They just looked at me, their laughter dying, a shared look of annoyance passing between them, as if I was the one interrupting something sacred. That was the night I broke. I went for a drive, pulling over in a deserted parking lot by the lakefront, the city lights a blur through my tears. The raw, animalistic howl that tore from my throat didn't sound human. It was the sound of a man whose soul had been ripped out. And in that cold, dark car, something inside me shifted. The grief curdled into something harder, colder, revenge. It wasn't a choice. It was a necessity. The next morning, I was a new man. The broken husband was gone, replaced by a strategist. I started gathering proof. I installed a keylogger on our home computer. I bought a voice-activated recorder, small enough to slip under the passenger seat of her car. I hired a private investigator, a grizzled ex-cop who looked at me with weary pity. The evidence flooded in. Emails, recordings of their breathless phone calls planning their trysts, photos of them kissing in a parking garage. Every piece of proof was a twist of the knife. But I welcomed the pain. It fueled me. I learned that Mark was in the middle of a messy divorce and that his wife's legal team was fighting for every penny. I also learned that Sarah's firm was about to announce a major promotion, a partnership she'd been working towards her entire career. The trap was set. My lawyer, a quiet, ruthless woman named Ms. Albright, advised me to wait for the perfect moment. The annual company gala was in 2 weeks. It was the firm's biggest night, where they would announce the new partners in front of their families, clients, and the city's legal elite. The night of the gala, Sarah was radiant, dressed in a shimmering silver gown. She was untouchable, on top of the world. "Wish me luck," she said, kissing my cheek with cold lips before leaving. "I won't need it," I replied. I didn't go to the gala. Instead, I was with Ms. Albright, finalizing the package. At exactly 9 p.m., as the firm's senior partner was on stage giving his opening remarks, an email was sent. It went to every employee at the firm, every major client on their mailing list, and, most importantly, to Mark's wife's divorce attorney. The subject line was simple, regarding the conduct of Sarah Miller and Mark Thorne. The email contained everything: transcripts of their conversations, scanned receipts from hotels, and a dozen high-resolution photos of them taken by the pie leaving a hotel together just last week. His arm wrapped possessively around her. The fallout was immediate and catastrophic. I watched it unfold from a distance. Sarah's phone started blowing up. Then her boss called. Then her parents. The firm's senior partner, a man who valued reputation above all else, was forced to make a public statement. Sarah was fired the next day, her career in ruins. Mark was not only fired, but his divorce settlement, which was already going badly, became a nuclear winter. His wife's lawyer used the moral turpitude clause to take him for everything he had. The public exposure was brutal. They were the talk of the Chicago legal community, a cautionary tale of arrogance and stupidity. I filed for divorce the same day. Because of the infidelity clause in our prenup and the mountain of evidence I had, she got nothing. Not the house, not a dime of my savings. She was left with her designer clothes and a reputation that would follow her forever. The last time I saw her, she was moving her things out of the house, her face pale and drawn. The arrogance was gone, replaced by a hollow, empty shell. She didn't look at me. She couldn't. The house is quiet now. Sometimes late at night, I walk through the empty rooms and I can almost hear their laughter. The silence they left behind is the loudest sound I've ever heard. Thank you for listening.